Welcome back to Sunrise. Well, Jamaicans are being urged to begin the necessary preparations for Hurricane Beryl. It's expected to start impacting the country this Wednesday. Now, Hurricane Beryl has intensified to an extremely dangerous Category 5 cyclone. Jamaica, however, is the best prepared it has ever been to respond to a natural disaster of this kind. That's according to the local government and community development minister, the Honorable Desmond McKenzie. He is here this morning to tell us more. Welcome, Minister. How are you?
Minister. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Dennis. Good morning, Miss Kitty.
How are you
It's so nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well, sir. Thank you so much for coming. I know at this time of the year, your ministry goes into overdrive. You're normally very busy, but you go into overdrive, especially at a time like this. Talk to us about when you say that the island is prepared or more prepared than we've ever been. How does it affect our citizens?
Well, first of all, the government has ensured that the basic things that are required in terms of mitigation, that has been on track. All the municipal corporations have been allowed to use their June or May allocations for mitigation exercises. The members of parliament receive upwards of $2 million for mitigation exercise. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, has the necessary resources in terms of what is required. We have over 870 shelters that are ready. Our shelter managers have been on high alert. And one of the features of this year is the new telecommunication system that will be used. Now, about 4 years ago, the Japanese government joined with us in creating what is known as the JICA project. Now, this system will provide the country with a telecommunications communication system right across the country. There are over 20 odd base stations already that has been installed, some over 200 and odd handheld radios. This system will be operated by the Jamaica Fire Brigade. The police is into the system. So it is an island-wide network that will cover the country during disaster, after disaster, and onwards. This is something, this is a capability.
I heard you speak about it at the press conference yesterday, and I said, what? It's a real game changer.
Yeah, this is a capability that we never had before. And apart from that, we have been putting in early warning systems. So in Port Maria, we have put in a system. On the Bogwalk Gorge, we have put in a system. Right across the country in Clarendon, we unveil at this very critical stage our early warning systems. And Olaba Bay is a tsunami authorized community. So when I say that we are in a better position, financially and otherwise, the country, based on the outcome after the next 2 days, we have the necessary funding. There's over $500 million in the National Reserve Fund for disaster preparedness, which is held within the Ministry of Finance, but is used by the Ministry of Local Government. And then there are the various insurance schemes at the government. And it's because of the steadiness of the economic program and the management of the finances of the country why we were able to at least have about 5 different set of insurance that the country for the first time. So if after we reassess the outcome of this Category 5, hopefully when it reaches the downgrade a little, we won't be able, we will be in a position to say, well, listen, we need now to start cleaning drains, cleaning gullies. We don't have to wait on anybody. The government can now pull down on what we have. So this is why I'm saying that it is the best the country has ever been in terms of its readiness to respond to natural disaster. Now, all of that can be wiped out with the Category 5, but the government, and in terms of information, we have been speaking about this system over now for the last week and a half.
Well, let me ask you though, Minister, because I know drain cleaning or drains being blocked has been a perennial problem over the years. Obviously, it can't be a minister or a government issue alone. As citizens, we have to take the initiative to be clean, right? And when the drains are clean, we don't go and mess it up. In terms of cleaning of drains, where are we with that so that we don't have the water blocking up? As well as you mentioned the insurance. Farmers are especially hard hit with hurricanes. Can they get some help or assistance? Should Beryl barrel down on us really hard?
This catastrophe bond that the government has brought in will cover every sector. Every sector. The Minister of Agriculture has programs that will speak to that also. So the insurance that the government has created is not just for infrastructure alone, because they are going to be human component of our response. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security has now, fast track the program of assistance, the Poor Relief Department, all the various entities of government is on the track. But I want to respond to the question of the drains. And I think this is something that the country need also to respond. Our drains, once you have excess rainfall, regardless of how much you clean the drain, the capacity of our drains will overflow once you have excess rainfall.
Yes.
So the argument sometimes about because the drains are not clean might hold water, but 80% cannot hold water because of the fact that, remember, our infrastructure, it is since this administration came in 2016 that we are making changes in our infrastructure. Kingston is an old city. Our infrastructure right across the country is old. So what it means, therefore, is that once we get the continuous rainfall as we do, we will always have a problem. But the role of the citizens is going to be critical. Jamaicans need to understand that it is not government alone.
Yes,
it is all of us. And at the end of the day, all of us have to pay the price.
Indeed. You know? Minister, as we let you go, tomorrow is going to be a very busy day for media and media's interaction with your ministry and its delegated authorities within it. In terms of that connectedness, the parish disaster coordinators, everybody on the ground in the various parishes to relay the information, is that communication network up for journalists to be able to make contact to get real-time updates from round the clock?
Yesterday I announced the activation of the National Disaster Council. So it means that all elements of our disaster response is fully activated. Later on today, when we do the assessment, we will probably give the go-ahead now to activate shelters. So the machinery is in place, and I want to urge the country, for persons who wants information, they can call ADPEM 888-2255-63736. Call ADPEM for information. On the ADPEM website, on the GIS website, on the ministry's website, there's a list of all our shelters. And the command center will be fully activated as of tonight. I will be in the command center right through, and all the teams, the Prime Minister and all of us will be there to monitor the situation. So the media will have access, and I hope that CVM will be a part of the 24-hour sojourn.
Absolutely.
Down at the
Absolutely.
But I want to urge the country, please do not dismiss it. I know that we are a God-fearing country and we have more churches than books in the words in the Bible, and we love God. But if you look at what is happening, Jamaica is going to be in for a difficult period, and the only way we are going to ride this period is if people accept that it is going to happen and work accordingly. And I urge Jamaicans not to lose sight of what is there. And I'm praying that we come out not as badly.
Yes,
right.
That will weather the storm. Well, Minister, thank you so very much to you and your team. Wish you all the best, and thank you for sharing with us this morning, and thank you for being accessible and giving the information that I'm quite sure that our citizens need to weather the storm.
And it's good to be. And let me just say quickly, there are certain communities that we are going to making an announcement later on based on the history of these communities when it comes on to flooding. that we are going to be making an announcement for these communities that we are going to be asking persons to start to evacuate from these communities. And we are putting in place the necessary arrangements for transportation and all of that. So later on today, we'll be making further announcements as to how that is going to work.
Well, we'll definitely keep our finger on the pulse. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was the Honorable Desmond McKenzie, the Minister of Local Government and Community Development. It is still sunrise right here on CVM.
What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life.